How many conscious breaths do you take a day? Do you take any? Can you count how many you do on one hand? Do you not do it on a daily basis? Is it random that you take a conscious breath? Which, when I say a conscious breath, I mean a breath that you are aware that you are taking. Because if you are not consciously breathing, you're not aware you're breathing, which at that point, you're not breathing because you don't know you are. In this video, I'm going to share with you a daily routine, a ritual that you're going to do every day. And it's going to completely re-energize your mind. And it has to do with breathing. And I'm going to first share with you why this is going to be so effective, why your breath is the most important thing when it comes to experiencing life, and how to utilize your breath to facilitate instant changes in your mind state. So first, let's talk about routines and rituals and why they're so important in the first place. We all have a routine. We are all, as is said, creatures of habit, because we have a habitat, we have a place that we exist in, and we rotate around it. Because a ritual or a routine has to do with a rotation. It has to do with spinning a wheel. And this is why a daily routine or a daily ritual, as I would call it, because that's truly where the word routine comes from, is highly important. And it's very important to know what you have in your routine and to choose what you are going to have in it, in your ritual. And you can clearly see how important rituals are by looking at the Vatican. Look at what they do daily during certain celestial events, the rituals that they will put on to honor or celebrate something. They go to the most bombastic extents you can possibly conceive, but why? Because the ritual is what makes sure something occurs. That's why they make sure to always do these rituals, because it is part of the machine. The same way that you have cycles and flows that are going on in your body constantly, in your automobile, in any mechanical machine, there's cycles going on. And these cycles are what make up the machine. That is why rituals are so important, because you are actually aligning your cycle up with what you want to experience, which your machine of the mind will then create and spit out the routine, the ritual that you have impressed upon it. It'll exhaust it. You can look at any of these governing bodies for the rituals they do. Look at the kings and queens. Look over in Europe. They have the scepter, they have gloves on, they have the crown. They have these different events that they go through. They have ceremonies where they do specific things, these different brotherhoods, these masons. There's a reason that they have rituals and rites of passage, which is, again, having to do with rituals and wheels and spinning. Yes, you're right, has to do with a circle, actually. We're not going to get into that here, though. So you can clearly see why having a daily routine, as most people are going to call it, is highly important to having control over your life. This is how there is even control over nature, or seeming control over nature, is based on rituals and routines that have been created based on celestial events that nature seems to operate with. Now, we need to utilize that power for ourselves. And to do that, the best place to start is with your breath, because your breathing is the most important thing to life. Without you breathing, you can't talk. I'll do another video on breathing regarding this specifically and why your breathing is so highly important, but it has to do with it being the source of your energy. Without the wind, there is no nature, because the wind is what moves everything. It's what allows the ocean to flow. Before mechanical motors, if you didn't have wind, your boat wasn't going nowhere. The trees weren't swaying. The seeds were not able to move anywhere. There was nothing occurring without wind, because wind is the first movement within nature, just as your breath is the first movement within your mind or without of your mind. It's how you come into this existence. You breathe life into it. Whatever's on your mind, you breathe life into it, and it becomes. So be it. And even in the word breath, if we just change the R and the E around, it is be earth or birth, because your breath has to do with the essence of life. So I will touch more on that in another video. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you get alerted when that video pops up, and like this video, because it will tell the algorithm that you want to see that one too. To continue on with this routine, what is the routine that I'm talking about? What are you actually going to do that is going to enlighten your mind if you just add this or start with this for your daily ritual? It has to do with conscious breathing. And you can do this all throughout the day. I'm going to tell you a specific point of when to do this though. Consciously breathe. And it has to do with creating space for yourself. Because we have to have the realization that if we don't have space to work in, we can't work or we can't do anything. If we don't have space to enjoy something in, if we don't have space to even exist in, how can we exist? We can't. So if we have not mentally allowed our mind to expand to a point to where we can actually allow things into it to experience, to impress upon it, and then to express us without having a reactionary response so that we can exist in the moment, we need space. And the best place to create space, the best time, is right when you rise. So what you're going to do every day when you rise, go outside, go on the ground, on the soil, grass, whatever you got, and take 10 conscious breaths. 10. Close your eyes if you need to. Sit down and actually breathe in the fresh air. Because when you get up and you go outside, when you rise, now you have to rise somewhere between 5 to 7 a.m., I'm going to say, so that the dew is still there, so that you can hear the life coming about around you, because this is when things start to move. When the sun is rising, you want to be out there then, because you're going to be able to create the most space for yourself throughout the day. And we're creating a ritual that is very powerful. That is why you need to do it during this time frame. And if you do that, 10 conscious breaths, deep breaths, at least breathing in for 4 seconds, holding it for 5, 6 seconds, and exhaling for somewhere between 5 to 7 seconds. Make sure that you are getting it into your lungs. You are expanding your belly so that you can fulfill your space inside of you with the space that is external to you. And what you are doing is preparing yourself for your day. And you're going to have clarity now throughout your day. Your day is going to be looser. It's going to feel more stress-free, as people would call it. But you're not even going to have that in your mind. You're just going to flow more because you have put what you need to exist inside of you right when you rose, which is the most powerful thing you can do when you are a living being existing in nature. You gotta respect it. You gotta show it love. You gotta show your body love. Give in to the spirit. Make sure that you get out every day and do this for at least a moon. See how it goes. Then come back. Let me know.